guys, this is Jenna Burt, host of the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Madeline, host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back to check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Jessica and I talk about our time in the pageant world. A new show comes out bi-weekly on Thursdays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Candia. I'm so excited that you're tuning in for today's episode. I just need to tell you, you all have been updating me on episodes you're either re-listening to or maybe you're a new listener, and it is just so exciting. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. If you could screenshot the episode that you're listening to and tag me at Julianne Candia or at the Rewritten Society, I would be so excited. Now, I do want you to know this. My number one goal is to empower women to get fit in every area of life. So I do put out other content other than this podcast on my social media. So again, feel free to go look at some of my posts, read the words that I'm saying, and understand that I just want to empower you. I never want my space to be a place of comparison or a space to make you think you can't. In fact, that's completely opposite of my message. My message is you can. You can do anything, you can be anyone, and you can crush it. And I am going to be your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader. And I just think that there's power in that. There's power in empowerment. And I just want you to know that there's other resources for you. Go to juliannecandia.com. Whatever it is that I just don't want you to feel alone on this journey of growth. This journey of growth is so much better when you link arms with other powerful women, women who are driven, women who don't want to just stay down. They want to be resilient. They want to be overcomers. They want to use their mess as their message. They want to connect and empower. They want to be better. They want to be healthy. They want to live fit. It is amazing what happens when you surround yourself with people like that, because it makes you, one, not quit and give up, but two, it also gives you examples of what's possible. If she can do it, I can do it. That's what I always say. And it just shows you how to level up in different ways. So friend, thank you for listening. I am so grateful. Public House Media, you're incredible. Thank you for just sponsoring, hosting, putting together this podcast. It just warms my soul knowing that Rewritten is part of a network that has so much integrity. So thank you, Public House Media. Thank you to the listeners. I am just so incredibly grateful. So today I want to talk to you about morning routines. Actually, one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to share with everybody my morning routine because I feel like it is so solid. I work out early, I do my devotion, I read my personal development, I have breakfast. I am the type of person that wakes up singing and dancing. I'm not even kidding. And then the one day I wanted to share with you my stellar morning routine. I don't even think I worked out until maybe 3 or 4 hours later than normal. And I just laughed because I was like, of course, it doesn't always go in the way that you want, right? It doesn't always work out the way that you want. It's not always every day is the same. But because my habits are so strong, I get it done. But I prefer the morning. And the reason I prefer the morning is because winning your morning trickles into every other part of your day. And I just really do believe when you start out with the right mindset, you move your body, and you're just focused on gratitude, you just see things in a better way. You have more patience. You have more forgiveness. You have a better perspective. Living grateful is one of the most powerful tools we've been given. And when you start your day off like that, it really impacts how you view everything that's happening. And remember, I've said this is from Tony Robbins, life is happening for us, not to us. And yes, you might get stuck in traffic. You might get into a fender bender. Someone might cut you in line and whatever. But I just think when we realize and we're focused on the bigger picture, we're more patient, which I think is really, really powerful. So let's take it back 5 years ago before I started living more fit. 5 years ago, I was in a constant rush. I felt anxiety, especially at night. Anxiety happens most when your body is still, and usually that is when you are going to bed. I don't know if you can agree with that, but when I was struggling a lot with anxiety, a lot of it was at night, and my heart rate would go up, and my mind would be thinking about a million things. I would set 500 alarms. I would get up maybe 3 to 4 times in the night and check my phone to see what time it was. And then in the morning. And I created some habits that I didn't realize were impacting not only my whole day, but impacting how I felt about myself, impacting about my productivity, impacted my health. And so, friend, what I want to do is I really want to share and show with you just kind of this evolved morning routine that I've created that has taken time. It's not something that changed overnight. It was little changes over time. But I think the biggest thing is being intentional. The biggest thing is being aware. And then you just start to work on it. It's not going to drastically change. You may not even notice a major difference. But if you keep chipping away at it, it will start to compound over time. And I just trusted that. So 5 years ago, that is really what life looked like. And I was rushing out the door. I definitely had bad habits when it came to waking up, either pressing snooze a lot of times and then rushing around, not even having breakfast, or pressing snooze and then being on my phone scrolling social media for 20. Do you ever do that? Where you're like, oh my gosh, 30 minutes just passed. How did that even happen? How did this add value to my life? What did I even do with my time? And then you're like, crap, I've got to get going. I've got to get to work. And if you live in the Midwest, like I was 5 years ago, winter, you have to plan for that because you might have to shovel or you might have to warm up your car or whatever. So yeah, it was just a mess. I just felt rushed, overwhelmed, stressed. Then I would get to work and I would just be rushing around, getting everything ready, then start the day, and then I would be so exhausted at night. So here are my best practices when it comes to having a solid morning routine. 1, you do have time. You do have time for health. When people say they do not have time, it breaks my heart because health is for life. Whatever circumstances you have going on right now, not for life. Your health, your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health is vital to life. We can never be too busy for that. Our priorities have got to change in order to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. We are so good at saying yes to everything else, serving everyone else, pouring everything and who we are into whatever else but us. I always say, as a teacher, I crushed my to-do list. The only thing not on my to-do list was my self-care. And that is a problem. So my morning routine looks a lot like this. First and foremost, I turn off all of my notifications for every single app 24/7. And people think I'm crazy. I think there's a quote where it's like, oh, just got your text message. Do you want to hang out a week ago? Yeah, you all. I've given myself permission that I don't need to respond back to everyone as soon as they message me, text me, email me, DM me, whatever. I think just taking that pressure off of needing to constantly check our phone and be available. Yes. So I have all of my notifications turned off. So when you're with me, you will not see anything light up on my phone on the screen. You will not hear a ding, a ping. You will not hear any, like even a phone call. It's wild, but yes, I do miss a lot of phone calls. Yes, I have a lot of text messages sitting there sometimes because I'm not always opening the app. You will not see a red number in my email app. You will not see red numbers on my Facebook app or Instagram. And the reason being is because I don't want to be a slave to my phone and social media. So I do not have my notifications turned on. Another tip that I have for you is that I have a special feature, you can do this too, where I cannot automatically open up my apps until 7 a.m. You can choose the time. I think it turns off at 9 p.m. and then I can access them at 7 a.m. Now I can access them in that time frame, but I have to take an extra step to do so. It will not just open up the social media platform. I have to hit a certain button and I have to make a conscious choice of I'm opening up Instagram for the next 15 minutes, or I am excusing this app that shouldn't be turned on until 7 a.m. So instead of making a subconscious decision, because a lot of times I actually turned off all of my homepage on Facebook, so I don't have that, I don't know what's going on with everyone on my computer. So I just see a motivational quote on my Facebook where, well, first and foremost, it's helped me not get distracted, but I didn't realize how many times I would hit the home button on my computer to go to Facebook to see what's happening in the news feed. It was very eye-opening. So those are some boundaries that I've created when it comes to social media and apps. Another thing that has really helped me with my morning routine, and you might think I'm crazy, is that I leave my phone downstairs. It is not next to me in bed. I might make an exception if I have a really early flight or I have a really early meeting, but other than that, I would say 6 out of 7 days, my phone is downstairs. So yes, get an alarm clock, old school, right? Whatever you need to do to get up. And Eric does the same thing. His is not downstairs, but his is not next to his bed. He is so good about this. And I just think we're not scrolling social media at night and we're not scrolling social media in the morning. First and foremost, like that is setting our mindsets up for success, because I think it's really easy to compare and waste time and get in this comparison mode and seeing what everyone else is doing, seeing that they've already crushed their morning, and then you see an email that throws you off and you feel like you have to respond, or you see you have a Facebook message, whatever it is. So that has really helped with that. So as soon as I get up, I go downstairs, I grab a banana, and I sit down. Well, I first have I have pre-workout in the morning. Honestly, I can't do life without it. I don't think I work out without it. It's so game-changing. So it's like my morning coffee. It's my pick-me-up, but it's all plant-based and natural. So I have that. I have a banana, and I read my devotion, which Eric has really helped me stay on track with that, because sometimes I can get off track with that. Currently, the devotion that I'm reading is, let me look at it. It's My Name is Victorious. So, if you were wondering. And then after I read my devotion, I read at least one chapter of my book. And this is around, sometimes I think, being pregnant, I'm sleeping in a little bit more, but I ideally would love to get up at 4:30. That's like for sure what we usually do, but it's been more 5:30, 6 in that range. And then by 6:30 latest, hopefully 6:30, maybe even earlier, I am getting ready for my workout. And my workouts are 20 to 30 minutes. And let me just tell you, that simple system I just shared with you is everything. And then I'm thinking about what I'm grateful for. Sometimes I even ask Eric, and we're just setting the tone for the day. But those are some small, simple best practices to win my morning that I'm telling you, have been so game-changing for me. So instead of scrolling social media for a half hour, do a half-hour workout. You're going to feel so much better about yourself. Instead of, reading your email, go listen to a podcast instead and fill up your mind with positivity. It makes all the difference, my friend. It really does. Those are my best practices. I hope this helped. Please screenshot this episode. Thank you for listening. Share it with a friend, and I cannot wait to hear how it spoke to you.